All right, so we are making our volunteer gifts for our volunteers that are going to be at the Winter Wonderland 1 week from tomorrow. And I just have to do the 4 red. We were doing 3, and that's why it didn't make sense. I have to add the white one on the bottom of these 2. Anyway, so as we're sitting here doing this, it's very late at night compared to when I'm normally at home with my family. But we just have a whole bunch of events that are back to back to back. And so in these events, obviously, look at this mess here, right? So it's a hot mess express, which is kind of how we do a lot of things. Not that we want to, it's just the way that it works. But just so you can hear what we've done in the last few days, we were up here till like 1 a.m. Friday night getting things ready for the Dallas Christmas tree lighting. And then we, on Saturday morning, had the Santa's workshop event here at the office. And that was from 11 to 3. And we had a few participants and we had some volunteers from the Wilkes Pharmacy program. So it was like a really nice event, kept us busy the whole time. So then we left at 3:30 and went right over to the Back Mountain Little League field for the Dallas Christmas tree lighting. And that was over at 7. And we had to be back here the next day to unload everything. And then also presented a grant at the Yak Forum on Sunday night. Today we had all sorts of fun things. We had participants, we had meetings, we had our guest raffle ticket caller, Mr. James, came in, and then we also had our Ask the Pros night with Marie Yeager from Autism Behavioral Services. And tomorrow morning, first thing, we have the Dallas high school and middle school life skills classrooms coming here for adaptive art and music introduction. And I just have this mess of glitter everywhere that I'm like, if I put it away, I'm never going to do it. And then obviously if it's out, then I'll finish it because it's in the way. Well, that didn't happen. But I can't keep moving them back and forth. It's less than a week away. So instead of just throwing them in a box and getting more glitter everywhere, we're just finishing it up quick because that's what we got to do. And I keep forgetting, we have so many things all the time. It just seems like they're happening so quickly. Thursday this week, we have our knitting event, loom knitting event with Miss Noel, and that's like super fun. We've been learning so many fun things with that. And it's been great for parents to get out and do things that keep their minds off of, other stressors, or at least give them a reprieve for a minute, right? From whatever it is. So, with all that being said, on Sunday, we have Michelangelo, so our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So he'll be showing up with his green suit on, and he's got a Santa suit for the turtle suit. So it's really cool, and it's $10 deposit because last time we did an event with a special character, we had a ton of people sign up, and then not a lot of people show up, but also not a lot of people calling to tell us they weren't coming. As the story goes, that's a no call, no show. So our board, and just in conversations with, people, we're really looking at, why people choose to not go to events. And we were really looking at the science of it. And there is a scientific explanation that's correlated with people not showing up to events that are free because they must not be of any value if they're free. So what if I don't go? I don't have any stake in this financially. And so if I don't go, it's not a big deal. Well, not for nothing. It really sucks, guys. It really sucks. I mean, I sat up here for the Dragon Tales program dressed as the Wicked Witch, and we did have people signed up, and then nobody came. And we get it. We are families to special needs as well. That clearly is an obstacle. But I mean, this is happening at every event across the board. Every event. Like, what the hell is going on, guys? If you sign up for something, and even if you can't make it, I know it's hard. I feel really bad because it makes me feel angry when it happens, and I try to keep myself in check, right? But a lot of times, all that we hear is that there are no programs, and that there's just nothing to do for the families for support, this, that, and the other, and that's just not the case. And if you're going to sign up for something and then you can't come, it's perfectly fine. Just send us an email or a text message, Facebook message, shoot a carrier pigeon. We don't care. Even if it's a week later, because we put a lot of time and effort into our programs. We plan this stuff out. We pay people to be here. We buy food. We make food. We plan around it because us as being parents to kids with autism, we know how hard it is to get out, which is why we exist, so that you can get out in a space that is made for your family and made for your child. Now, it may not be, no place is perfect for anyone, right? That's not what we're saying. We're just saying, like, if there happens to be a behavior here because somebody can't use the smartboard, or because they want to open the fridge, or because they want to use the sign-in iPad for other electronics, and I mean, not for nothing, that's not available. Like, and it's fine. But if there's a behavior, we're here to help you and them get through it in whatever way works best for your family at that time. So we're not here to be mean. We're not here to say, oh, only my kid could do this or that. But at the same time, just because you go to a place that's meant for families with autism doesn't mean that there aren't rules to follow there as well. So, and that's just basic things. Like, if somebody's destroying the space here, we need to make that stop immediately, because that's not okay. It's very dangerous. And everybody who's in the space here needs to be safe. And so if we're trying to get close to use the smartboard, and we're using the smartboard to help us pick ourselves up into the chair, that's not safe. You're going to ruin the smartboard, and we can't just fix the smartboard. If there is a behavior that results in damage, we understand that that's a part of a lot of people's day-to-day lives, right? So with that in mind, our policy that we came up with as a team here is that as long as parents, DSPs, behavioral health techs, whoever it is that is doing the work, as long as we're working towards a goal and we're not just free bird, like go nuts, destroy the place, there's never anything really that's going to keep somebody from coming back here to use the space, or, saying you have to leave right now. It all comes down to being safe. And when it comes to autism, a lot of that revolves around elopement. So we work very diligently to help families get through their visits here. If we have to, help barricade an area that's off limits, or if we have to, park our chairs in front of the door, then that's what we'll do, because we're here to make the adaptations to help you get out. So why are people not going to events? And it comes down to they're comfortable being home, and routine is great at home. But what that does is it completely limits your social outings with your family, specifically with your child or adult child with autism. And So with that being the situation and the norm, and I've had people tell me multiple times, we're not leaving, we're not going to our house, we don't want to go anywhere, we don't want to talk to anyone. And as much as I get it, I was like, hey, I was just coming to say, like, happy birthday. I wasn't coming to say, why weren't you at our event? Even though I might be thinking it, that's how an event planner thinks. It's not like a personal thing. It would be anybody. It's not you. But realistically, if you want to go somewhere and you sign up for it and you're not going to go, it's just common courtesy, and it's nice to let the people know that you're sorry you couldn't make it. So we have started adding fees to our events because we want people to have a stake in coming. And it's not like these things are constantly all funded. Most of these materials have been donated, but a lot of them have not. We go out and buy things, and we put our time and effort and spend time away from our families to make this possible for others, because that's the name of our program. And it's not bad. We chose to be here. But you all know what I'm saying. And you all know that when you can't come to something, you can't go. It's fine. But at least let us know something. And so behind the science of it, are you not coming? Like, if you don't want programs, you don't want programs. But there's fun events. And, one thing that we always do get are calls when somebody's in a sticky situation, which is, we're more than happy to be here to help out in those situations. But I can't tell you how many times people have told me there's nothing around here. And I'll say, oh, did you get this? And they'll say, well, yeah. So they're just blanket saying things that aren't true and complaining when in reality they told me 2 weeks ago, I'm not leaving my house. And that's it. You can stop sending me stuff. I'm like, all right, well, you signed up for the newsletter, so remove yourself. But anyway, it's just, it beats you down when you put a lot of your time and effort into anything and people don't appreciate it and or say that they don't see it when it's impossible not to in some of our circumstances or situations, whatever you call it. But it is frustrating that we've had to switch to an almost completely virtual model for things that are super important. And how do we know that they're super important? Because we lived it. We live it now. We're living it for the rest of our lives. So it's just a little bit of a, if you tell us what you want, which is how we choose to do things. If you tell us what you want and then we create it, the trend is just more excuses are made as to why it's not working for you and why you can't come. So we'll do what we can while we can, but we can't keep asking for grants if nobody's going to be using the programs. We can't keep doing fundraisers where our families are the only ones supporting us. And I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying it's a very, it's across the board, across all nonprofits, not just ours, where the fundraisers aren't funding. The grants are there, but people aren't signing up to use the grants that they initially said they would love and are interested in and would definitely attend. Are we being too flexible? Are we being too generous? Like, what is the answer? Because as we've said previously, a lot of programs, if people don't use them, they just simply go away. Well, our programs are based off of us being parents to kids with autism, and that's just not going away. So these programs are going to exist because we need them for our own children. And basically, it can happen as long as we can fund it. And then once that funding is gone, whether it's through grants, fundraisers, donations, We can only exist if our community is participating. And that's not just to say families with kids with autism. Our community is filled with neurotypical and neurodivergent families. So just because you don't have autism doesn't mean you can't support your community. Just because somebody is autistic doesn't mean that they only go to autism events. We go to all sorts of things. We go to other fundraisers. We attend, because it's one thing. It's one community. So your thoughts are appreciated. I'm up here by myself, and it's not that I'm sitting here, trying to bitch about anything. It's simply a fact, and it needs to be addressed because it's not just us that it's happening to. If you talk to other organizations, it is across the board. And the world has changed, and we would like to change with it. But realistically, we can't put out another program or keep programs that people aren't coming to if they're not working. That just doesn't make sense. Isn't that the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome? I mean, I really don't know. I think that that's what it is. But anyhow, so, and ideas are great. I'm only one person. My team are all parents, mostly to kids with special needs. So yeah, we would love to be able to do X, Y, and Z. I would love to have the knowledge to reach out or to go and do X, Y, and Z. So sometimes we need a little bit more help. It might be understanding Y and Z. Where is... There. Sorry. So there's two different kinds of glitter here, if you couldn't tell. There's like this duller red, and then there's this super shiny red. I'm not mixing and matching. FYI, that won't happen. Jackson didn't fall far from the tree. But we did need to talk about that. And we've been doing so many Facebook Lives with the holiday raffles, with the Ask the Pros and whatnot on Facebook, that I figured I would put this out there at a different platform. And then later on down the road, depending on how it goes, we could share it on the other ones. But I don't know. Just kind of needed to be said. And I don't blame anyone for anything. But know that we work really, really, really hard. And it stinks when things don't work out. And yeah, that's the name, that's like business or whatever. But the part that kills me and kills our team is when people say there's nothing out there. And that's just like absolutely the furthest thing from the truth. There are so many programs out there. There are so many people who do so many great things. Early intervention, Wizard County, MHDS, Beyond Behavior, Beyond Grateful, so many, Collaborative Autism Movement, SAFE, PA Inclusive, like Brighter Journeys. Like there's just so many nonprofits out there, and we all do different things. But even if we all did similar things, there's enough people who need the services that it wouldn't matter. That's the thing. It's like, it doesn't matter who's doing it. Not all, like capacity wise and scheduling wise, you can't all go to the same thing on the same day and time. It just doesn't work like that. So having options, I mean, who wants to go to the same clothing store day after day? I mean, Target is mine, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, who wants to eat the same food every night other than our kids with autism, right? See, these analogies aren't hitting. It's late. So anyhow, I just wanted to throw that out there kind of and see what people are thinking about, because we would like to continue to offer awesome, cool, and fun things, but not, I mean, I don't mind being by myself, but not when I'm dressed up as the Wicked Witch, ready to read Room on the Broom. You know what I mean? These events used to kill, and making trips to schools and daycares isn't what they were designed for, and I love doing it, but it was designed so that families could enjoy a typical event that was not maybe open to their child's behavioral needs. And initially these things were banging, they were hitting hard, and people were coming and requesting and all that fun stuff, but things have changed, and we want to know what the hell's going on. So let us know, and maybe I'll be done with these by sometime in 2020. 30,502, because these are taking forever. But I got to get rid of these damn corks, and we had a lot of glitter to use too. Thank you for all of our donations that people give us. But now we're at the point where it's use it or lose it. So appreciate you guys. And we hope to see you at some events. All right. Merry Christmas.